Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Chapter 75.
So setting the scene, we're at the siege of Fancheng. Guan Yu is leading the attack.
A major campaign for him.
Huge. And in the fighting, he gets hit by a crossbow arrow. But, like we said, not just any arrow. It's tipped with Wutu Ziyao, aconite.
Lethal.
And he goes deep, right into the bone. The source says his right arm becomes Yubi Qingsang, swollen, bruised, useless. A disaster for a warrior, right?
And absolutely critical. I mean, aconite poisoning, if it's systemic, it's fatal. For it to reach the bone, that arm was essentially dying. Any other general
would be rushed off the field.
Immediately, no question. It's a ticking clock.
And his people, his son Guanping, his officers, they beg him to retreat. Go back to Jingzhou, get treatment.
The logical thing to do.
But Guan Yu, nah. He's having none of it. His refusal is just classic Guan Yu. He says, taking Fancheng is within sight. Once Fancheng is taken, I will advance directly to Zhuchang, destroy Cao Cao, and stabilize the Han dynasty. How can I let a small wound delay a great matter?
Wow. It's more than just being tough, isn't it?
It feels like it.
It shows this mindset where personal agony is just irrelevant compared to the mission, which is admirable, sure, but that kind of unwavering focus, that refusal to admit vulnerability, it can also be a blind spot.
A dangerous one, maybe.
Potentially.
Yeah.
He projects invincibility, but invincibility can make you predictable or even careless. We'll see that play out.
Okay, so he refuses to leave. And then, almost like fate, the legendary physician Hua Tuo turns up.
The Hua Tuo.
Right, from Pei State's Cao Commandery, the most famous doctor of the age. He hears about Guan Yu's injury, travels by small boat right to the camp. And Guanping actually recognizes the name, confirms he's the guy who treated Zhu Tai over in Eastern Wu.
So not just any doctor, a medical superstar arrives.
Pretty much. His reputation is huge.
And Hua Tuo showing up isn't just about medicine. It reflects the kind of respect, maybe even awe, that Guan Yu commanded. It's almost like a divine intervention is needed for a figure this large.
So Hua Tuo examines the arm. His diagnosis is grim. Yes, the poison's in the bone. Yes, without immediate drastic action, the arm's done for. Possibly fatal.
Gets right to the point.
And then he lays out the plan. And listen to this. Anchor the arm down, cover the general's head.
Okay.
Cut open the flesh, scrape the poison off the bone, apply medicine, stitch it up. No anesthesia, remember.
Just unimaginable pain.
Hua Tuo himself is worried. He actually says, I'm afraid you'll be scared, General.
Which is telling, isn't it? The doctor, who's seen everything, expects terror. He's bracing for screaming, maybe passing out. It really underscores the brutality of it.
And Guan Yu's response, he just laughs.
Yeah.
Says, I view death as returning home. What is there to fear? And about the pole and ring to tie him down, he just waves it off. So easy. Why use a pole and ring? Like, it's nothing.
That line, I view death as returning home, that's pure Guan Yu. It sums up that indomitable spirit. Fear just isn't in his vocabulary when facing a challenge.
Right.
But, it's also a performance. He knows his men are watching. His enemies will hear about this. He's reinforcing that legend, that image of being completely unflappable.
Okay, so the surgery begins, and the scene is just wild. Guan Yu sits down, pours some wine, eats some meat, and carries on playing Weiqi, the board game Go, with his advisor, Ma Liang.
While Hua Tuo gets ready to cut him open.
Exactly. Hua Tuo gets his knife. An attendant holds a basin underneath to catch the blood, and the source mentions this specific sound. CC. This CC scraping sound.
It's
of the knife on bone.
Chilling detail.
Everyone else in the tent, officers, soldiers, they're horrified, covering their faces. The blood, it's his Suoyu gang pen, it filled the basin.
A basin full of blood.
Yet Guan Yu just keeps drinking, eating, chatting, playing his game. Not a flicker of pain, not a sign of fear.
And this is where the man becomes myth, right? That level of stoicism isn't just personal toughness, it's a psychological weapon. It cements his image as this unyielding, almost godlike figure. Think about the message that sends.
To his own troops and his enemies.
Absolutely. It ramps up his fear factor enormously. This display makes him seem truly invincible.
And incredibly, the arm recovers. Right away, he can stretch and move it. Guan Yu's overjoyed, calls Hua Tuo a Shen Yu, a divine doctor.
High praise.
And Hua Tuo is equally amazed. He calls Guan Yu at Tianjin a celestial god, saying he's never, ever seen a patient like him.
That mutual admiration is significant. Hua Tuo, the master physician, sees a level of human resilience he didn't think was possible. And Guan Yu, despite his pride, recognizes Hua Tuo's genius. It's like two titans acknowledging each other.
Yeah. And to cap it all off, Guan Yu offers Hua Tuo 100 lang of gold of fortune.
A huge sum.
But Hua Tuo refuses. Says he came out of respect for the general's character, not for money. leaves some medicine paste, and just goes.
Wow. Integrity on both sides there.
So Guan Yu's arm heals. And between this incredible display and his recent victories capturing Yujin, executing Pendio, his reputation explodes. Weiming Dashen, Huaxiajian, his fame shook the land, astounding all of China.
And this is the pivot point we talked about.
Right. The personal drama now spills over into strategy.
Because that reputation, that fame, it's not just about respect anymore. It's a strategic force. But like any powerful force, it can cut both ways. It inspires allies, yes, but it can also terrify enemies.
Make them panic.
Exactly. Lead to decisions driven by fear, not logic.
And that's precisely what happens next. News of Guan Yu's recovery, his surgery story, his continued advance, it reaches Cao Cao in Xucheng.
And Cao Cao is rattled.
Rattled is putting it mildly. He's so alarmed, he actually suggests moving the capital city. He says, Bigyu Kanji Chimizi, I wish to move the capital to avoid him. I mean, think about that. Cao Cao, the brilliant strategist, wanting to pack up and run.
It speaks volumes, doesn't it? Moving the capital is a massive sign of weakness, almost an admission of defeat before the fight's even done. For Cao Cao to consider it, it just shows the immense psychological pressure Guan Yu is exerting.
Yeah.
Even the sharpest minds can be overwhelmed by that kind of fear, making them vulnerable.
Luckily for Cao Cao, he has Sima Yi.
Ah, Sima Yi, the master strategist.
Sima Yi steps in, calms things down. First, he points out, hey, Yujin's defeat, that was mostly due to flitting, not Guan Yu single-handedly crushing our army. Yujin Dangbei Shumkan Fezan Zigu puts it in perspective.
A necessary reality check.
But then comes the real genius. Sima Yi understands the bigger picture, the politics, the rivalries. What's his killer insight?
His genius is seeing past the immediate fear and spotting the strategic opening. He knows Sun Quan and Liu Bei aren't exactly best friends, especially over Jingzhou. And Guan Yu's soaring success, that's bound to annoy Sun Quan.
Right. Jealousy.
Precisely. Sima Yi says, now Sun and Liu have fallen out, Guan Yu's success will surely displease Sun Quan. It's pure political psychology. He sees the crack between the allies.
And he proposes they exploit it. Send an envoy to Eastern Wu, get Sun Quan to secretly attack Guan Yu from the rear.
The classic stab in the back.
And sweeten the deal. Promise Sun Quan land in Zhengyan after Guan Yu is dealt with. Jiang Ji backs the plan.
It's brilliant, really. Turning Guan Yu's strength, his terrifying reputation, into the very thing that undoes him by provoking Sun Quan's envy. And the land offer, it perfectly aligns with Sun Quan's own ambitions. It's textbook divide and conquer.
Cao Cao jumps on it, immediately drops the whole moving the capital idea. He does pause to lament Yujin's capture versus Pangdi's death, loyalty versus bravery.
A moment of reflection, maybe.
But then it's action. Envoy dispatched to Sun Quan. And, crucially, he sends Jingping Wan, 50,000 elite troops under Xu Huang, to reinforce the front against Guan Yu directly.
So a two-pronged approach, diplomacy and military pressure.
Exactly. The game board is completely reset.
Okay, so the ball's in Sun Quan's court now.
Right. Cao's letter arrives. And just like Sima Yi figured, Sun Quan is interested. Very interested. He agrees to the alliance.
But there's always a but in the Three Kingdoms.
Always. His own strategist, Zhang Zhao, pipes up with a warning. He says basically, be careful, Cao Cao is known for breaking promises.
A wise counsel. It tells you everything about the era, doesn't it? Alliances were purely about convenience. Deep distrust was the default setting.
Yeah.
Sun Quan's going into this deal knowing full well Cao Cao might double-cross him later. It's all calculated risk.
So while Sun Quan is mulling this over, another key player arrives, Lu Meng.
Another sharp mind in Wu.
Definitely. Lu Meng immediately advises Sun Quan. Now's the time. Hit Jingzhou, Guan Yu's base, while he's busy up north at Fenchang.
Makes sense. Attack where he's vulnerable.
But Sun Quan, being cautious, or maybe just testing his general, suggests attacking Zuzhou instead.
The Zuzhou test, was that a serious option?
Lu Meng argues against it pretty effectively.
How so?
He says Zuzhou, mostly flatland, hard to defend long-term. Jingzhou, though. Jingzhou controls the Yangtze River, Guangzhou, Shangjiang. That's the strategic prize. Take Jingzhou first.
He's thinking geography, logistics, long-term control, not just a quick land grab.
Exactly, and Sun Quan admits, yeah, I was just testing you. He gives the green light for the Jingzhou plan. This is a massive strategic decision for Wu.
Huge. Controlling the Yangtze is like controlling the main artery of central China at the time. It's a defensive moat and an offensive highway rolled into one. Lu Meng gets it.
Okay, so Lu Meng heads back to his post at Luku, ready to launch the attack. But he hits a snag.
Oh, what happens?
He finds Jingzhou isn't undefended at all. It's bristling with defenses. The source describes Yanjiang Shansha. Gofu Changbengu Fungungtai beacon towers dotted along the riverbanks every 20 or 30 later. And the troops, Jiangsu, Yu Yonsei organized, alert, clearly expecting trouble.
Guan Yu wasn't completely oblivious then. He'd prepared defenses.
Seems so. Lu Meng is shocked, dismayed. He realizes a direct assault won't work. So what does he do? He pretends to be sick.
Feigns illness. Why?
It's a smart play, actually. Buys him time. Avoids admitting the initial plan failed, which could demoralize everyone. It shows he's adaptable, realizes brute force isn't the answer here. He needs a different angle. Sun Quan, naturally, gets annoyed. My general is sick right when I need him.
Understandable frustration.
But then enter Lu Sun, also known as Boyan.
Another rising star in Wu.
And a very perceptive one. Lu Sun immediately suspects Lu Meng isn't really sick. Sun Quan sends him to check. Lu Sun goes to Lu Meng's tent, dismisses everyone else, and says, basically, I know you're faking it, but I have a small remedy for your illness.
Ooh, intriguing. What's the small remedy?
It's pure psychological genius. Lu Sun has zeroed in on Guan Yu's true weakness.
Which isn't his fighting skill.
No, it's his ego. Lu Shun says, Yunchan Yingqi Yingchon, Zilia Wu Di, Sung Lung Wei Zheng Jr., meaning, Guan Yu relies on his heroism, thinks he's unbeatable, and the only person he really respects or fears is you, Lu Meng.
Ah, okay, so the plan is to use Guan Yu's arrogance against him.
Precisely. Lu Xun knows you can't beat Guan Yu head-on easily, but you can manipulate him through flattery, exploit the source of his strength, that belief in his own invincibility.
Weaponize his ego. Clever. How?
The plan is multi-stage deception. First, Lu Meng continues pretending to be seriously ill, even resigns his command.
Okay, remove the one commander Guan Yu respects.
Right. Then, someone else Lu Xun clearly means himself takes over. This new commander must then act completely humble, showering Guan Yu with praise, using Bari Chizania Guanzhong Yim Juokitan humble words to flatter Guan Yu and inflate his already massive ego.
Make him feel completely secure, even superior, lower his guard.
Exactly. Make him think, this new Wu commander knows his place. He recognizes my greatness. Nothing to worry about from that direction.
It's a classic honey trap, strategically speaking.
And here's the payoff. Once Guan Yu's ego is sufficiently puffed up, he'll feel so secure about his rear flank in Jingzhou
that he'll do something rash.
He'll pull troops out of Jingzhou, Xibing, withdraw basically all the defenders to send them north to help him finish off Fancheng.
Leaving Jingzhou wide open.
Wide open. Then a small, swift force yelled Ziji can launch a surprise attack. And Jingzhou, the prize they wanted all along, falls easily into their hands.
It really drives home the point, doesn't it? The best strategies aren't always about overwhelming force. They're often about understanding your opponent's mind, their flaws, their psychology.
Yeah, manipulating perception.
It's a high-stakes psychological game, and Lu Xun is playing it brilliantly, using Guan Yu's own pride as the key to unlock his defenses.
Lu Meng hears this plan, this small remedy, and he's thrilled. Immediately sees the genius in it, declares it Zhong Lianxie. A truly good strategy.
And the trap is set. Picture this. A top general, right at the height of a crucial campaign, suddenly pretends to be severely ill, and he publicly resigns his post at Luku, even sends official letters to his lord, Sun Quan, confirming it. I mean, on the surface, it just seems utterly counterintuitive, right? Almost like self-sabotage.
It looks that way, yeah.
So what's the strategic genius hiding beneath such a, dramatic and seemingly risky move?
It's an absolutely brilliant opening gambit, a masterclass in misdirection, really. Lu Meng wasn't just, faking an illness. He was meticulously setting a psychological trap.
Okay.
And crucially, he recommended a relatively unknown junior officer, Lu Sun, as his replacement.
Ah, okay. Not someone famous.
Exactly. The text says Lu Sun was not yet well known, and that was the precisely calculated detail. It made him seem utterly non-threatening, basically not a concern to the formidable, and let's face it, rather proud General Guan Yu.
His main opponent.
His main opponent, yeah. And Sun Quan, who was a shrewd leader himself, he immediately got the genius of this plan. He quickly appointed Lu Sun as general and governor. What's fascinating here, I think, is how effectively a manufactured image of weakness can disarm even the most powerful and experienced adversary.
And Lu Sun, this seemingly unassuming replacement, he played his part perfectly, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely.
He immediately sends this deferential letter full of humble words along with lavish gifts, fine horses, beautiful silks, good wine to Guan Yu, who's busy with his campaign at Fancheng.
Setting him up.
You can almost picture Guan Yu's reaction, can't you? He just dismisses Lu Sun as a mere youngster, laughs out loud, apparently, and readily accepts the gift. Seems totally taken in.
Completely.
What was it about Lu Sun's approach, that humbleness, that made it so effective against someone like Guan Yu?
Well, it's all about playing into the opponent's existing biases. And frankly, his ego. Guan Yu was legendary, right? Renowned for courage, skill.
Absolutely, a hero figure.
But also for immense pride. So Lu Sun's calculated humility, his youth, the gifts, the respectful tone, it was all designed to reinforce Guan Yu's own perception of superiority and Lu Sun's insignificance.
So Guan Yu just thought, this guy's no threat.
Exactly. Guan Yu's critical error wasn't just accepting the gifts, it was his hubris, his deep-seated underestimation of an opponent he just deemed beneath him. It shows how a manipulated perception, especially one that feeds an enemy's vanity, can be, well, far more dangerous than direct confrontation. It just blinds you to the real threat.
A psychological blind spot.
A classic psychological blind spot. We often see what we expect to see, you know, not what's actually there.
That's a powerful point about manipulated perception. How does this kind of blind spot show up elsewhere? Maybe like in modern business or even just personal decisions. What makes it such an enduring trap?
Oh, it's remarkably common. Think about a new disruptive tech being dismissed by some industry giant because it lacks pedigree or isn't a serious competitor.
Great. Seen that happen.
Or in negotiations, underestimating that quiet, unassuming person who, later reveals a deep strategic mind. The trap is projecting our own expectations or past experiences onto a new situation instead of really assessing it without bias.
So Guan Yu wanted to believe Zhang Dong wasn't a threat anymore.
Yes, precisely. The source says he believed Zhang Dong had no more worries. Not because it was true, but because his ego needed it to be true to justify focusing all his attention on Fancheng. He saw what he wanted to see.
Okay, so Guan Yu's operating under this false sense of security. What immediate vulnerabilities did that create, and how quickly did Lu Sun jump on them?
The consequences were direct and immediate. Believing his rear flank was secure, Guan Yu made a huge strategic blunder. He pulled the majority of his best troops out of Jingzhou, a super important strategic base, to reinforce his offensive at Fancheng.
Leaving Jingzhou vulnerable.
Critically vulnerable. He was also nursing an arrow wound, just waiting to heal up and resume his attack. Basically, Jingzhou was left largely undefended. And this is where Lu Sun's precision really shines.
Okay.
He'd been carefully observing the details, gathering intelligence constantly. He immediately sent a report to Sun Quan, confirming Guan Yu's troop movement. The timing was just impeccable. Guan Yu was entirely focused on the front line. He was physically recovering, and his guard was completely down. That window of opportunity to strike Jingzhou, it was wide open.
So with this intel confirmed, Sun Quan meets with the now recovered Lu Meng, ready to talk, attacking Jingzhou. But interestingly, Sun Quan first suggests sending Lu Meng and his uncle, Sun Zhao, to lead the army together. I mean, two experienced leaders, sound strong on paper, but Lu Meng saw a problem, right?
He absolutely did.
Yeah.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, Lu Meng wasn't just planning a military attack. He was expertly managing the political and human dynamics within his own command.
Yeah.
Right from the start.
Right.
He brilliantly argued against co-leadership. He referenced the past trouble between Zhu Yu, another legendary strategist, and Cheng Pu, a senior general from an earlier campaign, how they didn't get along.
Setting a precedent.
Exactly. He humbly said his own talent wasn't equal to Zhu Yu's, and more importantly, Sun Zhao's close family ties to Sun Quan, even stronger than Cheng Pu's were, would likely cause friction, make cooperation difficult.
Politics, even then.
Always. Lu Meng knew that internal conflict could just sabotage the whole operation before it even started. Sun Quan had what the text calls a great realization, understood the point, and appointed Lu Meng as the sole Grand Commander. Sun Zhao handled logistics. Clear command, unity ensured.
Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting. The invasion itself, the White Cloth Crossing, just a masterclass in stealth and deception.
It really is.
Lu Meng picks 30,000 elite troops over 80 fast boats, Walk us through the disguise. What was the practical genius of having skilled sailors dressed as white-clothed merchants rowing, with the actual soldiers hidden below deck?
Well, the practical genius is just astounding in its simplicity and effectiveness. Those white clothes weren't just visual, they were a powerful psychological symbol. Merchants were common on the river, right? Generally seen as harmless, apolitical.
Blending in?
Exactly. Invisible in plain sight. It let the fleet move quickly and anonymously down the river without raising any suspicion from watchtowers or patrols. And Lu Meng wasn't just relying on stealth. He had serious backup. 7 named generals: Han Dang, Jiang Qin, Zhu Ran, Pan Zhang, Zhu Tai, Xu Sheng, Ding Feng advancing behind him. Sun Quan himself was in reserve.
So serious firepower hidden behind the disguise?
Absolutely. This wasn't just about numbers. It was a deeply committed, multi-pronged attack strategy, ensuring backup, a relentless push. That layered command structure, it's often overlooked, but it's critical in these complex operations.
So they're approaching the riverbank watchtowers, these key defensive spots. The merchants claim they're just blocked by wind, need shelter, but the critical move seems to be bribing the guards with wealth and goods. How did that simple bribe work so effectively?
It was a brilliantly calculated risk, playing right on human nature. You have a plausible story, bad weather, happens all the time, combined with the immediate reward of a bribe.
Tempting.
Very tempting for likely lower-level soldiers, maybe bored, maybe complacent. A little extra wealth was much more appealing than potentially risking their lives over what looked like a harmless merchant fleet. It just bypassed the formal protocol.
So the first layer of defense just melts away.
Pretty much. And then with that first layer breached, later that night, around the second watch, say 9 to 11 p.m., the hidden soldiers emerged. Swiftly, silently, they captured all the guards at the watchtowers and other key spots along the river.
Nobody got away.
Critically, no one escaped to raise an alarm. This ensured, as the text says, a long drive straight to Jingzhou with no one being aware. The element of surprise was absolute, because the initial deception had already neutralized that first line of defense.
So Jingzhou itself falls quickly and bloodlessly. Lu Meng, again the strategist, uses the captured watchtower soldiers really cleverly. He offers them good words and comforting, plus heavy rewards, then tells them to trick the city gatekeepers into opening up by midnight using a signal fire. How did that work psychologically, and why was avoiding a long siege so important for the bigger picture?
Okay, psychologically, it exploited trust within the enemy ranks. The gatekeepers see their own comrades, apparently unharmed, signaling from the towers. They'd assume everything's fine, right?
Yeah.
They're opening the gates for their own side. Suspicion. Gone.
Clever.
And avoiding a long siege was absolutely critical for long-term control. A brutal siege means casualties, destruction, and deep, deep resentment among the people. That makes ruling later incredibly difficult.
Makes sense.
By capturing the city quickly, without widespread violence, Lu Meng aimed to, well, maybe not win hearts and minds instantly, but at least prevent active resistance.
And this leads right into his immediate orders, which were incredibly strict.
Very strict. Whoever dares to kill one person or take one thing from the common folk will be dealt with according to military law. No exceptions.
And he protected the old officials, even Guan Yu's family.
Yes. Original officials kept their posts. Guan Yu's family was safe in a separate residence. Which raises that interesting question, right? How does compassion and strict discipline, which seem contradictory, work together for long-term control after a hostile takeover?
It suggests conquest isn't just about taking ground.
Exactly. It's about governing it effectively afterwards.
And he wasn't just issuing orders, he enforced them. There's that stark anecdote. Heavy rain, Lu Meng inspects the city, sees one of his own townsmen, someone close to him, using a civilian's bamboo hat to cover his armor.
A small infraction, seemingly.
The soldier pleads, it's just to protect official armor, not for private use. But Lu Meng has him executed anyway, to uphold the orders, and then the text says he wept and buried him.
That's intense. Doesn't that risk alienating his own troops? Fear over loyalty.
It's brutal, no question. And yes, it instilled fear, but it was a calculated fear. It was designed to prevent the kind of widespread looting and abuse that would have totally turned the population against them.
Okay. A bigger picture goal. Right. That seemingly contradictory act, harsh discipline, then personal grief was profoundly effective. It sent an unmistakable message to the 3 armies shaken and awed. These orders are absolute. No exceptions. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter how small it seems.
Setting a clear standard.
Exactly. Lu Meng knew that to establish immediate, unquestionable authority and stop chaos, he had to show his word was law. In that context, that kind of iron discipline, harsh as it is, paradoxically prevents much greater suffering for civilians later and secures stability for the new regime. It's about those tough leadership calls for order and, importantly, the reputation of the new government.
Okay, so soon after, Sun Quan arrives in Jingzhou, celebrates the win, praises Lu Meng, but the job isn't quite done. They still need to consolidate. Take back Gongyan and Nan Commandery, held by Fu Shiren and Mi Fang, two of Guan Yu's commanders.
Right. The military part is mostly done. Now it's political and diplomatic.
This wasn't a military problem anymore, was it?
Not primarily, no. Military victory is often just half the battle, as they say. Consolidation needs political skill, diplomacy, sometimes more than fighting. Capturing Jingzhou swiftly was crucial, yes, but securing the surrounding areas without more bloodshed was key to stable control. Minimize resistance.
You want to integrate, not just conquer.
Precisely. Secure those commanderies with minimal effort, preserve your own manpower, and build legitimacy for the new rule.
So that's when Yu Fan steps up. Boldly volunteers to persuade Fu Shiren at Gongyan. He boasts about his 3-inch tongue, his eloquence, and importantly, their childhood friendship. How effective is pulling the old friends card in these high-stakes talks?
You can be incredibly effective, often more so than just threats or promises. Yu Fan's approach shows the power of personal connections combined with what the text calls words of advantage and harm. He wasn't just making an offer, he was tapping into a shared past, building trust, while also clearly laying out the benefits of switching sides versus the severe downsides of resisting.
Makes sense.
And we also know Fu Shiren already had a grudge against Guan Yu. Remember Guan Yu being angry with him before, so he was probably already thinking about defecting.
Pre-existing resentment.
Exactly. It shows how personal grievances, even small ones, can be cleverly exploited in strategy. Turns an opponent's loyalty into a weakness. Personal feelings are a powerful lever.
And it worked like a charm. Fu Shiren surrenders quickly after getting Yu Fan's letter, shot over the wall by arrow. Sun Quan smartly reinstalls him in Gongyan. But Lu Meng, always thinking ahead,
Never stop.
immediately suggests using Fu Shiren, the brand new defector, to convince Mi Fang over at Nan Commandery. What's the genius in that, having the newly switched guy bring over the next one?
Lu Meng was always several steps ahead, neutralizing potential threats. Using Fu Shiren to persuade Mi Fang did two critical things at once. First, it cemented Fu Shiren's loyalty. He's now actively participating in the new regime, right? He has a stake in its success.
Makes him commit.
Exactly. Second, it weakened Guan Yu's remaining allies more effectively. Seeing appear, Fu Shiren, defect, could sway Mi Fang much more powerfully than just a direct appeal from Sun Quan or Lu Meng would have.
Few pressure, almost.
Kind of, yeah. It's just a masterclass in layered strategy.
Yep.
Military power, psychological manipulation, strict discipline, clever diplomacy all working together. They achieved a seemingly impossible victory and consolidated power efficiently and effectively.